Hi, I'm Tim Sullivan, and Sony Legacy Records launched its 15-minute homage to Andy Warhol at the Pollock Krasner house. The homage is a box set that contains 16 screen prints and 17 recordings by artists associated with Andy Warhol's factory. The tribute was created by Jeff Gordon and his wife Pat Sung. The silk screens were printed by Alexander Heinrici. And here is a short video of the event.
Yesterday was Andy Warhol's 83rd birthday, and we're celebrating it here at the Pollock Krasner house with an exhibition called 15 Minutes, Homage to Andy Warhol.
The show is called 15 Minutes, Homage to Andy Warhol. I'm Jeff Gordon. I knew Andy and I liked Andy. I've been doing recording projects with painters and conceptual artists and poets for over 30 years. And when I did my first one in 1980, Andy Warhol was the first person to give me great publicity. He did a feature article on me and the project in Interview magazine. And then we got to know each other, and we liked each other, and we were both fascinated with recording. Over the years I've done dozens of them, but I wanted to do something about Andy. And the painter and my wife, Pat Sung, was the one who suggested doing one of my projects around Andy Warhol. And as soon as she said that, I said, that's it. I want to do a project called 15 Minutes. We're going to approach 17 or 18 people who knew Andy, worked with Andy, and ask them to do things. And unbelievably, we've got artists such as Ultraviolet, Bridget Berlin, Vincent Fremont, John Giorno, Alexander Heinrici, Bob Dylan, Patti Smith, Pat Sung, Lawrence Weiner, contemporary artists like Connie Beckley, Eura Adams, Nat Finkelstein, a lot of people who were associated with Andy over the years, Christopher Makos, etc. Pat and I asked each artist to do a recording and then a silk screen. Silk screens were printed by Alexander Heinrici, who did major silk screens with Andy for years. And we called the box set 15 Minutes. And it's a way of my remembering Andy, because he was not only incredibly important, a genius, but his influence increases as time goes on. And I wanted to pay him respect for that. And so we've gotten all these people together, and that's what the show is about. Thank you.
Jeff Gordon. Yes, no. And Jeff Gordon is the one who put this whole Sony Legacy project together. This is Billy Names' Nebula. This is Alexander Heinrici's Alexander and Andy. This is Chris Makos, Andy Warhol, and John Lennon. This is Nat Finkelstein's Andy, Bobby, and Elvis. This is Patti Smith, Edie. This is Connie Beckley's Silk Screen Live. This is Carter Ratcliffe's Glitch City. This is Lawrence Weiner's Vienna. This is John Giorno's Thanks for Nothing. This is by Ultraviolet. This is called Response to Warhol's Sound Field 467 by Susan Green. This is Self-Portrait by Bob Dylan. This is called Shadow, Merce Cunningham 3, and it's by Pat Sung. This is Untitled by Vincent Fremont and Birgit Berlin. Okay, this is an autographed Campbell soup, autographed by Andy Warhol.
Mr. Shiner, how are you?
This is a copy of Interview magazine, autographed by Andy Warhol, and it's part of this collection being shown here today. And it was a silk screen, and it's in the collection of Brian Boyan.
This is the signed edition of the collection of silk screens that are all signed. The collection is $20,000 and it includes 4 vinyl records and the 3 CDs also created in response to Andy Warhol's work.
Thank you. Okay, this is the poster of the exhibit, which is being signed by the artists as they come into the exhibit.
I'm Alexander Heinrici, and I printed all the prints in the show here at the Pollock Krasner house. But I got the job because I also printed all the Andy Warhol paintings and portraits from 1970 to 78.
We had a lot in common. Warhol is to pop art as Pollock is to abstract expressionism, the acknowledged leader and symbol of his respective movement. They were both born into working-class families that had no art background, both grew up outside major art centers, and both came to New York to fulfill their destinies, and both retreated to Eastern Long Island to escape the pressures of the New York art scene. And perhaps most important, long after their deaths, both continue to inspire contemporary artists working in many different genres. So when Jeff Gordon suggested a show that proved Warhol's spirit is alive and well, I said, let's do it. It seems that no matter how weird the scheme, nobody can refuse Jeff, who credits Andy with the success of his first such project, Revolutions Per Minute, a collection of sound and spoken word pieces by visual artists that was released in 1982. So when Jeff went to Adam Block, the head of Sony Legacy Recordings, with the improbable idea of getting a bunch of Warhol associates and admirers to collaborate on a visual and audio art project, well, naturally Adam Block said, let's do it. It was his vision and commitment that made the project happen. So please join me in thanking him, as well as Randy Hecker, Legacy's Senior Director of Media Relations, Tom Cording, the head of Legacy's Publicity Division, and Adam Zelinka, the product manager for the 15 Minutes box sets of prints and records. Thank you all so much. And I have to say, Sony and everyone there has been a real pleasure to work with. And we also owe a debt of gratitude to the 17 individuals, several of them here today, who contributed their work to the collection, and one especially whom, as master printer, Alexander Heinrici, produced the gorgeous suite of silk screens that comprises the exhibition and the deluxe limited edition 15 Minutes box. Thank you, Alex.